Hi there, Forensics 35 students. I just want to explain how to use this interactive lab if it doesn't work with you if you don't have Flash. First things first, let me share my screen here. So you will realize if you go to the website, what's going to happen is that it says the following. Body has been discovered, a fatal gunshot wound to the chest indicates homicide. As a forensic entomologist, your job is to examine the crime scene, collect and analyze the evidence, and determine the PMI, post-mortem interval, the minimum elapsed time between death and discovery. These are the tools that you need to use. Roll over each tool to learn how it's used. So, secure ventilated jars. This is where you could collect the larvae. Need air to breathe. Live specimens will need to be reared in the lab to determine their species and develop the rate. Use these to help to separate and be sure to note the date, time, and location body part on which the specimen is collected. Forceps for collecting crawling insects. Cropped specimen jars with 70% ethyl alcohol solution. Preserve some specimens in order to stop their biological clock. Portable weather station used to gather weather data for 5 to 7 days to establish pattern. Hand net for collecting flying insects. Trowel used to dig up soil samples. Thermometer used to take temperature of air and maggot mass. Heat the maggots produced may have an impact on the rate of the development. So I'm going to the crime scene. As you realize, what happens there is as insects and vertebrates colonize a corpse in a successful and measurable rate, the oldest specimen that can be killing to the body will provide the best clues. Your skills as a detective and scientist are critical in helping the police target their search for a killer based on their estimated time of murder. So Scorpion says roll over the circled insects, find out about each, collect 5 specimens that you would like to take back to the lab for further analysis. Some will help you to determine the PMI, others have no bearing in the cost. There's some adult flies, fly eggs, large larvae, empty fly pupa case, fly with crumpled wings, small maggots, black widow spider, and beetle. You will realize there's a whole bunch. This is where it would be very helpful if you had the interactivity available for you. So I clicked on that, the beetle, the fly eggs, large maggots, and the black widow spider. So you have taken your specimens back to the forensic lab where you have prepared and analyzed them. You have worked out their development rates based on various factors, including weather, climate, and the temperature of the body, soil, and insect masses. Click on each item to see what it tells. Okay, Scorpion tells you the following. Through forbidding looking, the desert designates in the way no links to the body. Primarily non-functional and sensitive to light, it was mostly like just using the body for shelter during the day. So, should have never used this Scorpion. Beetle, you have identified the species as a Roval beetle. It arrives shortly after the maggots hatch, typically within a day and a half to prey on the larvae. So maybe I shouldn't have selected that. Fly eggs, you have identified these as eggs of the green bottle fly. Kind of environment, they may be laid within the first 2 hours. Large maggots, as maggots grow in size with age, large maggots are typically older and therefore more important than small ones. That is, if they are in the same species. In addition to preserving a few in order to stop the clock on their development, you have also reared a half a dozen in temperature-controlled environment that mirrors on the death site. Identify the development rate and species. You have discovered there's two housefly and third instar or stage development, which takes 4 days to reach. Black widow spider, despite its deadly reputation, this venomous spider rarely injects enough toxins to kill a person. Though it will be found in the body, this spider has no connection to the victim. So, can we determine the death? Now that you have assessed each item, you are ready to offer your results. In your forensic opinion, what have you determined the PMI? Very hard to determine that because most of the things that we do have are just there by accident. So, inconclusive evidence. Back to the drawing board, there's plenty of evidence to suggest the post-mortem interval to the case. Trust your instincts. So this is what would happen in this activity. So I'll let you to play along with it by using the actual file here that's found on that website. You probably should recommend using Firefox or Internet Explorer to make this work. Have a great day.